Praise the Lord. Okay, how many people remember growing up? When our parents will be on their way out, our fathers, our mothers will be on their way out. And they'll say, oh, Mojisola, watch out, take care of the house for me while I'm gone. That's a level to this thing. There's another level where your father is there and he says, take care of the house. You know that's a higher one. I want us to celebrate Pastor. He's a leader of leaders. He's a leader of leaders. He's here and he's saying, take charge. Pastor, we celebrate you. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I want to celebrate the youths. Please, let's give them a big, big hand. You guys are looking amazing. You're looking beautiful. You are the future of tomorrow. So even if nobody celebrates you, celebrate yourself. Give yourselves the pat on the back. You are doing well, okay? We celebrate you. Okay, so awesome. Please help me celebrate the media guys. They have been amazing. Thank you so much. So by way of introduction, social media and its impact on mental health. I know that we think that it's for the youths, but beyond the youth, if you are not a youth, you are the father to a youth, you are the mother to a youth, you are the sister to a youth, you are the uncle or the auntie to a youth. These things concern all of us. I know I asked that the youth, I would like to see them to kind of engage them, but beyond that, everybody's going to benefit from this talk by God's grace. Okay, so my outline, I'm going to give a brief introduction, the risk factors to mental health, mental illnesses relating to excessive social media usage, a short video, I'm sure some of us have seen it on WhatsApp. There's a short video that I'd like us to, pros and cons of social media is not all bad. We want to balance our argument. Current social media trends, our Sorosoke generation, and then where do we go from here? Okay? Media, I think I'm going to need your help. So what is social media? Why was it invented? At the end of the day, after all this long story, it's for socializing on the virtual space. Okay? Our Facebooks, our Instagram, Twitter, and all of those things is to engage each other. Some people are even chronically ill and they find their community in social media spaces. Some people have opened things for chronic illnesses like cancers, specific maybe retinoblastoma that you have never heard of, but there are groups encouraging each other, sharing views, symptoms, what to expect, and all of those things. So social media has been amazing, basically. Okay, please, next slide. Okay. I'm not sure it's connecting as much. Okay, mental illness. Mental health. What is your mental health? The way a person acts, the way a person thinks, the way a person behaves. The sum total is your mental health. Your psychological well-being, your emotional well-being, your social well-being. All of that comprises your mental health. And so if there's any distortion in that, it brings the disbalance, and that's when we say there's mental illness. Now, everybody has mental concerns. Nobody is exempted. You have a target at work, you have a deadline at work that you have to meet, you're having migraines, you're having insomnia, you cannot sleep. That's a mental health concern. You lose a loved one, you lose a father, you lose a mother, Bereavement is a mental health concern. Depression occurs. But when it begins to linger, when it doesn't stop, when it begins to affect your normal functioning, your emotional well-being, your psychological well-being, then there is an issue. Then a doctor has to be invited, then a psychologist, psychotherapist, and all of those things. Now, what places people at risk of mental disorder? What will make... Yes. What are risk factors? Now, most mental illnesses do not have a specific cause. It's multifactorial. It's intricate. There are many things that can cause mental illness. Now, the more the risk factors, the more the likelihood that a person will develop mental illness. Now, what are these risk factors? Genetics. In our father's days, they'll go and search. If you want to marry somebody, do they have madness in their family? Because there is a genetic component to mental health, okay? Environmental factors, adverse conditions that can stress a person's brain and make them switch to the other side. Abject poverty is one of them. So these are environmental factors that you weren't born with it, but it happens. Childhood trauma. Some children have gone through neglect, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse. And how many people were there for Sunday school today? Sunday school class today. Please, as in, it was so amazing. It was like God synchronized these conversations. We had this talk in a very interesting manner. So, childhood trauma. Some people, and you know, it's very interesting. Stressful events come under that as well. Bereavement, losing a loved one. Chronic illness, people that have been diagnosed of cancers or whatever, and they just feel hopeless and feel that, you know, they cannot go on and all of those things. Now, negative thoughts. We were talking in Sunday school today, and they mentioned, oh, parents should interact with their children better. That children react or respond to different situations in different manners. Some children are melancholy in nature. How many people know what melancholy is? Some people are pessimistic by nature. They enter into a place and all they see first is what is not right. Some of us are very extroverted and very optimistic. If you tell me now, let's travel, all I'm just going to say is, let's go there. It's later when we're on the move. What of the air? What of the... God will provide. That the God who provides of life. It's not everybody that is like that. Some people are pessimistic by nature. And if care is not taken, you can switch from pessimism to that next level, where you begin to brood. Some people have constant migraines because their minds are never at rest. Even when they are sleeping, their minds are active. They are thinking about what is wrong, what is not going right. And these things predispose a person to mental illness. Drug and alcohol abuse, obviously. You see all those area boys misbehaving. They are besides themselves. There's no way you will take marijuana for that much and it will not begin to affect your mental state. Unhealthy habits. This is where social media and the excessive usage of social media comes into play. Sleep deprivation. Again, sleep deprivation coming from social media excessive use. I'm still going to talk on that. Okay, next, please. Yes, mental illnesses specifically related to excessive use of social media. I will never categorize schizophrenia amongst this. Schizophrenia has nothing to do with social media. But there are some particular mental health issues that social media can either provoke or aggravate in somebody that already has underlying issues. And this is where I want us to be very sensitive. Low self-esteem. People are tagging their lives based on what they see on social media. It's so funny to me. It's so interesting. When I, as a person, want to take pictures, I will have deleted like 28 before one will make that cut. Because I will stay like this. I will stay like this. I know my angles. I know what works. I know what doesn't work. Then you now use all that paparazzi to measure your own life and be feeling dissatisfied with what God has done for you. Based on that, you are on your own or your depression. A lot of suicide now. The age for committing suicide is getting lower and lower. In my mind, I'm thinking, Mommy Uche and I had that conversation this morning. She was just saying, in their days, nobody used to commit suicide. Yet, their husband used to beat them. Yes, they will go to the farm, they will do this, they will do that. But now, it's like the threshold is getting lower and lower. And what can be accounted to this? I'm not saying social media is all bad, don't get me wrong. But there are some predispositions that I'm seeing in the youth that is worrisome. Depression, anxiety disorder, suicidal thoughts that when left after a while can lead to suicidal attempts. Let me tell you one truth. In medicine, we talk about how severe a suicide attempt is. They say men are more brutal than women. When a man wants to execute the suicide, he will use more brutal gunshots. A woman is not looking, it's not like gunshots. He just take 2 paracetamol and close one eye and be hoping that will he go, will he not go, will the liver pack, will he not pack? Then women are more into attention seeking. So they will do it during the day. Mo fẹ́ para mi o. All that one na demo. When you see somebody attempt it at night, when nobody can stop them, you know that there's a height to that. When you see the means that the person used to attempt it. But you know, and the reason why I'm picking on social media is because it's getting higher. There's I don't know if anybody knows about Ocean, the first girl to kill herself while live streaming, and thousands of people were watching and then many more people have come up after that and have killed themselves on live stream. You guys, these issues are real. And that's why I said even our parents will benefit from this conversation, because you need to know your children. You need to engage them. Gone are the days of Lion of the tribe of Judah moves. My word is final, what I say is different children. You will see that the children, my mom can testify, all the children she gave birth from her own loins will have different. The shout she will give me, I mean, I'll just brush it off like whatever, or day she, is the one that my sister will sit down and be moody. I'm like, he knows so. Mommy so quick. And I'm like, not today. Hey! She has been so pain since I was born, and I don't care. She has been so pain. That one is, there's no big deal in that one. No be today. You know, so different people, different reactions. FOMO, okay, cyberbullying. A lot of people have been bullied online and all of those things. Eating disorders, anorexia, bulimia, because you see a magazine and you want to be like that person. Size 0, unhealthy living. Then there's a new one, FOMO, fear of missing out. There's a legit fear that makes the young people hold their phone, even in church while there's a message going on. You are checking how many likes, how many comments, how many views. You are looking for validation from outside. And that's why I said in the beginning, tap yourselves if nobody taps you. Hail yourself if nobody hails you. It's not that serious. A lot of things, and the repercussion is getting worse and worse. Then psychosis resulting from substance abuse and all of that. Yes. This is the video I want us to watch. How many people have seen this video?
Hey guys, it's Becky here. Now, this is just to remind you that things are not always what they appear to be online. For example, do you like my hair? Well, hey guys, it's Becky here. Now, this is just to remind you that things are not always what Hey guys, it's Becky here. Now, this is just to remind you that things are not always what they appear to be online. For example, do you like my hair? Well, it's not real. Neither are these glasses. So what I did was to track the objects of my face using a software. And yeah, my face. Of course it's not real. Neither is this background. So if you like continue comparing your real life with someone's controlled content, you sabi oh, you thought that phone was real? Oh yo.
why. Tell your neighbor there's a lot of packaging going on. People are packaging themselves. Can you see? The face isn't real. The glasses isn't real. The background. Hey, Joe, please, what's real? And then somebody will sit down here and be feeling moody and gloomy and saying that my life, look at that girl. She's so packaged. She's so this. There are softwares, photo editing skills. Ask the media guys. There are some gangster photo editing. That even me, I will look at myself and say, no. Is this me? If I want to become a yellow woman, I can become. So, and that's why I'm saying that. And that's the crux of my own conversation this morning. Self-validation. Getting your worth and your self-esteem from who God says that you are, not from outside influences. Now, the reason why I'm doing the pros and the cons is so that you don't get me wrong. Sometime last year, during the height, in the midst of the pandemic, a friend of mine called me. She's in an establishment, and she said she wanted me to talk to her employees. Zoom meetings and all that. And I remember that one of the things she said was that a lot of depression, people are so sad because of this pandemic and everything. And I remember vividly that one of my conversations with them, when I got to where do we go from here, one of the things I said was social media will play a key part right now. Because of that social distancing and staying away from family and friends, connect online. Have your family, your group chat, and all of that. So don't get me wrong. Social media has been very, very instrumental in healing in this pandemic, where we have had to stay at home and at least connect with family and all. But that being said, there are a lot of downsides to it, especially the excessive usage of social media. There are a lot of downsides to it, and it's affecting the youth, it's affecting their mental health. And that's what I have come to say. We're going to have a panel where, we found out that some of the most inspiring conversations come when there's an interactive segment where we can all share, talk, and, enlighten one another. So mine is just a brief presentation. Yes, sir. Yes, just a brief presentation. Okay, so mental health problems, less real-life interactions. How many people, even parents will notice this? Children are more to themselves on their phones now. In the house, you say, "She mommy today." She will reply, "She's back. Has she cooked the beans?" People are not talking. Now, social media is bringing people from thousands of miles away to connect and then alienating families and homes. Parents are far from their children. Spouses are far. Spouses, everybody's on their phone. Everybody's on their phone. And so, yes, it's bringing other people from China and Japan closer, but it's alienating those people. You go to weddings now and you see everybody's on their phone. Then I ask myself, why did you come? You should have stayed at home. Everybody's sitting on their phones. And while it's good for business. People are using it to make millions and all of those things. But it's the balance. And that brings me to my last slide. Oh, my second to the last slide, actually. Current social media trends. You guys, you know all these things now. OPG, OPK, OPL, OPGs, OP that. But there's one that bothers me, and I feel that there's an undertone to it. This God when. Somebody puts up a picture of her and her boo. You say, God when. You guys know this thing now, God when, God when. At the end of the day, it makes you question God. I'm sure you'll be thinking I'm doing over spirituality. But the truth is, this God when makes you dissatisfied with your own thing and keeps looking at other people and saying, God when now? After all, why me? Why me? Issues of how many people have been seeing proposals now? People are staging their own proposals. Just for the gram. People are staging their own proposals. I have a friend, she had a surprise party, and she told me that, her family and friends pulled up a fantastic surprise, but the only thing was that she was coming from the market, she didn't look good. And that when she got there, she was pleasantly surprised. She screamed, and she checked the video, and they had to do a retake. She went into her room, changed, made up and came back and now, oh my God, and painted her nails. And then that was now worthy to be put up on air. You guys, there's a lot of packaging. Let's not deceive ourselves. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here as I conclude? Number one, our faith. Our faith is key. What we believe in, what we hear in church. We have a pastor that keeps encouraging the youth to express themselves. They're dancers, they're actors in our midst. But check it. If any mental condition, depression is not leaving you, is not living, the stressor has been removed and is not living, you need to talk to somebody. Talk to a doctor. Open up to somebody. And by God's grace, another thing I want to say is, we fast now, we fast to God. Do a social media fast now. One day, you won't die. Just say, God, I just want uninterrupted power supply. Just one day. Try it. Everybody will be all right last though. On that social media, they'll be all right last. They will be fine. You guys, they'll be fine. Just fast. 1 hour, 1 day. And just commit it to God and say, God, it's me and you uninterrupted. I pray that God helps everybody in Jesus' name. Thank you so much for listening.